All right, we're live.
Yay! So thank you so much for joining us today, Adam and Camilla. I do truly appreciate that you have been one of the very first guests on our podcast. And I'm just so thankful, that you are here to help us launch it and get this started. So thank you so much for being here. Camilla. Oh, sorry. You go.
I was going to say, honor to be here. This is, again, the beauty of going live. Get a little technical difficulties going here. But yeah, happy to be here, Suzy and Michael. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Super excited to be here.
Yay. And so just so that the audience knows, because Michael and I know you too well, but if you two could start by introducing yourself, that would be great. And if Camilla, if you could go first, that would just be awesome.
Sure. So I'm Camilla Jeffs. I am founder and CEO of Steady Stream Investments. It's a real estate firm that specializes in teaching the first-time passive investor how to invest into a real estate syndication. And I've been in real estate for about 19 years. That makes me feel old. But we started out really young and did a variety of different investments in the single family space, moved into small multis, and now doing large multis and assisted living. And I just love what I do. I could talk real estate all day. So I'm so excited to talk about it right now.
No, yeah, thank you for that. I think that's a very common theme for, the four of us for sure, but then the rest of the guests on the show. So thank you for that. And then Adam, if you could introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity and great to share the stage with Camilla as well. My name is Adam Carswell, coming to you live from Newfoundland, Canada, but originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Lived all over North and Central America. It's been a good life so far. I'm a real estate entrepreneur and podcast host. We'll focus on one main thing today, though, and that's how I know Michael and Suzy, and it's through this logo here behind me, Raise Masters, which is the #1 mastermind for elite capital raisers. Camille, we'd love to have you in there one day. There you go. But anyways, yeah, and the story behind Raise Masters, there's an individual in our world, mutual, named Hunter Thompson, and I got connected with Hunter back almost a little over 4 years ago now when I quit my W-2 and got into real estate. I was listening to a bunch of podcasts, came across him, became one of his first coaching clients. We hit it off, went to a conference in Vegas for real estate. And after that, we just kind of been working together ever since. And I now manage our educational branch at ASIN Capital. Just met hundreds and thousands of amazing people, honestly, along the way, and happy to be here. And again, grateful that, Michael and Suzy decided to be a part of our mastermind. You talk about people who they're going to be successful no matter what, and you're just happy that they're with you. That's these guys. So that's my background.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your background, and thank you for saying that about us. We really appreciate that. But this is all about you two, right? We specifically wanted you two as guests because the impact that you've made on us, right? That's been huge in itself, and we truly appreciate that. And just to go a little bit into why we decided to start the podcast. So it is the Adventures of a Real Estate Investor. And we chose that name specifically because Michael and I just love adventures. It goes with our brand. It's who we really are. But within every single real estate journey, there is an adventure within itself, and everybody has their own story. And what I was, when I was listening to people talk to us and having those one-on-one calls, or even in meetups or conferences, something that really stuck out to me was the impact that people were creating while leveraging real estate, and whether that's with yourself, whether that's with your family or the community, or beyond all of that, right? Or in a different country, I was just amazed by it all. And I just truly thought that that was a message that needed to be shared with the world, because if everybody, just did that 1% positive impact towards someone else or towards even themselves, every single day, just to think of how that can create, just a more beautiful space in this world. And so I just wanted to get it out there. And then just to, expand a little bit on impact, I'd love to know what impact means to you two, Camilla and Adam. So Adam, if you could start us off and just let us know what impact means to you.
Sure. What impact means to me, I think, is something to take a step back at first, because it's one of those words where I think adding value is a word that can be very watered down just in general. People kind of forget just how important that phrase or that statement is. And when I think of impact, I think the same way a lot of people say impact investing or just impact, impact, impact. And you kind of forget what you're talking about. So thank you for making this a part of you guys' mission, and just, I guess, giving me an opportunity to I just want to get that out there, right? Like impact is very important. And Suzy and Michael doing a great job of it. So to me, I think it starts with finding your purpose. And maybe it's a little bit of a teaser to our interview. You guys, we had a great interview. I'm so looking forward to when it comes out. But in order to make an impact, you have to figure out what your purpose is. And that's something that is not easy by any means. I know I've been multiple times in my life, I thought I knew what my purpose was, and I found out maybe it was like a calling in that moment. It wasn't actually like the true purpose. And so to me, the impact is letting the world know what your purpose is and living it out. And I'll let you guys know right now, my whole purpose, and here we go, teaser, whatever. We said it in the interview. My whole purpose right now truly is, I'm still uncovering what it is. I'm still finding my purpose. Like that's my purpose right now. And so hopefully that makes an impact and that inspires someone here who's listening today. And, keep in touch with me, because I'm sure here very soon I'm going to figure out exactly what that purpose is. And hopefully we can expand on that.
No, absolutely. And I think that's actually something that a lot of people share, right? Is that, and I mean, we've talked about this where we think we have a purpose and then we find out it's really more or less a goal. Because then once you've achieved it, what happens next, right? But a lot of people are out there figuring out their purpose because it is really hard. I mean, it takes a lot of self-reflection and then more self-reflection and then more, it's like those deep dives can be like exhausting to people sometimes. So no, thank you so much for sharing that, because that is truly important for people to know. It's not like we all have it together 24/7. We're all different and we're all in different places of our lives. And that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely.
Well, purpose evolves, right? I mean, we evolve as human beings. We grow, we mature, we learn deeper understandings of things, and I think your purpose just evolves as you evolve in over the span of your life too. And so, what does impact mean to me? So right now, impact for me means kind of four things, right? So it means having a purpose. And when I started out in real estate, at first I was just thinking about, well, how do I take care of my own family, right? And so I was very focused on the family piece of that, and that I knew that real estate would be a great avenue to build wealth, to have the freedom, the time to be able to spend more time with my family. And then my purpose kind of evolved into, actually, when I took on a single family investment that I allowed Section 8 tenants into. And I was like, okay, well, this is even bigger purpose, right? Because now I'm providing this basic necessity of life for someone who, a single mom with 3 children, she can't afford the home herself. And so the government's stepping in to assist her. I'm here to assist her. And we're all helping this woman live a beautiful life together. And that helped me feel like I had a greater sense of purpose. Now, evolved to the next step for me was when I got involved in apartments and looking at, well, which class of apartments do I want to be in, and how do I want to do this? And I thought, I would like to be involved more in the affordable / workforce housing type. And I want to make safe, clean communities for hundreds of people rather than one at a time. So the purpose just keeps evolving. And now my next evolvement is creating an impact investing network, because I want to get together like-minded people to come together and let's talk about it. Let's support each other. Let's figure out ways that we can create even bigger impact across the whole world as we think about each of our investments. And so impact investing to me is just this beautiful intersection of getting a financial profit and gain to impact your own family and your generations to come, but also to impact socially, environmentally, and in all of those different avenues to really create something beautiful.
No, and I love that you share that. And like something to even pull out of that is the financial piece, right? Like we're not all in it like for that. I mean, it's a huge component, but the thing is that like so many people don't see money as a tool, right? So with that though, like with that tool, we're all using it or not all, but a lot of us are using it, to create those great impacts throughout the world, throughout our community, throughout the family. So it's just figuring out like, okay, what do I do now with this new tool that I have, right? Because we have yet to see it that way as a society, right? Like a lot of people see it as like evil or something we don't talk about, but it's just another like skill set, and it's just learning how to use it properly and to create those amazing impacts. So thank you both for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So another question I'd like to ask you too, because like with real estate, a lot of people, like we get the same questions, like how do you do so much in a little amount of time? How are you like continuing to do this at night or in the morning? Like, do you ever have like a rest period, And for a lot of us, it's like a very good balance and blend, and it's all intertwined. So like to take it a step back, like what is one thing that you two do to make yourself 1% better every day? Like something that somebody who is brand new, who wants to get into it, like what's one thing that they can do? Well, before that though, what's one thing that you do? And then what is one thing that they can do?
Camille, you want to take the lead on this one?
Sure.
All right.
So I mean, like you said, Suzy, there's so much balance that you have to figure out in your life, and there's periods of life where I don't feel like I am balanced, and it's okay. It's not, it's not a matter of I need to have perfect balance in my life at all times, because there'll be some times when I'm working a deal when I've got to spend a lot more time in, spending more time with my investors, educating, helping them along, hand holding, and just doing everything that they need to get the deal closed. Once the deal closes, I can take a breather and I can spend a ton more time with my family and take them backpacking, right? Like, yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of different things you can do. But to your question about, how do you make yourself 1% better every day? I love this concept because sometimes I get overwhelmed at the end of a day and I think, man, there's just so much more that I could have done in this day. And I'm just tempted to just like go right back to my computer, do another thing. And I just have to tell myself, no, listen, stop. So I got this super great advice from a good friend of mine. And she said, you know what, Camilla, you should start a, we're really good about, a lot of us are really good about a morning routine, getting up and, exercising, writing in our journal, and, gratitude list, etc. And I do all of that. She said, you need to start an evening routine, and just one simple thing. At the end of the evening, you need to write down what successes you had that day. Because I think we forget that we actually are moving the needle every single day in the little steps that we do. And so I'm trying to start that practice. Like I just learned about a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to start that practice because I'm really bad about noticing the successes, and instead my brain just focuses on all the gaps that I have, and where I need to go, what I still need to learn, what I still need to work on. But I need to take a moment and just think about, what, I did dang good today. I'm going to put that on my list.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just to add to that, Camilla, like Suzy and I, we scribe every morning. And so we like journal, write down like things we're grateful for, and then also like what our goals are for that day. Right. And so what we've been trying to do, like you've mentioned, like at the end of the day, writing down everything that you've done and being very proud of what you've accomplished for that day. Like we've been trying to be better at journaling at night as well, right? Before we go to bed, and like, okay, reflect on that day. We do reflect on the previous day, the morning after, yeah. Right? But it would be nice to really sit down at night. And we've been trying to get better. And that's actually our year goal this year, is to get better at scribing at the end of the night as well as in the morning. But yeah.
Yeah, because even to add to that, oh yeah, because like when you look at it the next morning, you're like, oh, I didn't get anything done yesterday. Like you really do. But like if you were to say it, like look at it at night and like change that twist to make it very positive and be like, no, I did get a lot of done today, or I did get done what I needed to get done, right? Because like towards the end of the night, the tasks that you have left are not necessarily your critical or prioritized items ever. And if they are, and you just totally blew them off throughout the whole entire day, then like, are they really critical at that point? You know what I mean? But like that because those 1 or 2 emails then turns into like 3 to 5 more emails. And then you have to look and see if you have to like comment on LinkedIn, and then like check your text to be like, oh, did somebody text me about this investment, and it could just keep going. So no, that is really important for you to say that, because although we say that we're going to do it, it definitely slips out. So thank you for that very gentle reminder.
You're welcome.
And Adam, what about you?
Yeah. I mean, so many things we've already covered are so I can just relate. And especially how Camille was talking about, you get to the end of the day and that there's still some things on your checklist or whatever. A book that I'm also doing my best to just read one book at a time right now. So hopefully I stick to it. The book that I'm reading right now, The Way of the Superior Man, highly recommend it. It's good, I'd say, for the masculine, but honestly, for the feminine, it can help you reverse engineer how we think. But man, it's such a good book. And one thing in there is in general, the masculine energy is always wanting to conquer and check things off the list. It's the book's basically look, it's going to be like that for the rest of your life. So you can beat yourself up if you don't get everything done at the end of the day. Guess what? You're still always going to have something to do. And so being content with just doing what you did in a day is something to also keep in mind. And you made me think of it there. But as far as 1% every day, just a couple hacks here. I try to gamify as many things as I can. And this is actually something I only started probably within the past month. But I try to do 100 push-ups a day. So on my whiteboard, I've got it 25, 50, 75, check it off as I go. And seeing that makes me want to do it. Otherwise, I'm not thinking about it. Same with my workout schedule. If I say, I'm going to work out tomorrow and put it in the calendar, whatever, but putting it on the whiteboard and checking it off as you go. I mean, it's crazy how much it helps. So gamify as many things as you can, even your workouts. And as far as getting 1% better daily, figuring out where you really want to get most of your information from is important. And I got this hack kind of from Hunter. Because especially you guys in this world, in the world of real estate investing, I mean, there's so many voices and so many different ways you can go and find success that it can drive you a little bit crazy. So find the 1, 2, maybe 3 people tops that you resonate with, you share their worldviews, etc., and just go deep on every single thing that they have. Listen to their show over and over and over. You get through all the episodes, go back to the beginning and listen to it again. And what you'll do is you just build this connection with whoever it is that you're going deep on. And eventually, when the time comes, you either meet them or you start working with them, whatever, or you go so deep that you find out, I'm going to pivot and go a different way. And I just cleared out my iTunes subscribe podcasts the other day just to get it down to to back up, practice what I'm preaching, right? Basically. And I guess, I don't know, I might have to sneak in Adventurous real estate in there now that I'm saying it on the show, but highly recommend it. If anyone is listening to Michael and Suzy's show, take that advice and just go deep on everything that they're putting out. Cause I can tell you right now, again, these guys they're on the path to success and they're just going to keep crushing it. Not how else to put it. So I know that was actually a very long-winded answer for 1%, but there we go.
No, I love it. I do. And I mean, that's why you two are here, because your answers, you expand on them and you continue to grow and go, and that's what brings it all together so that people do understand what it is.
Yeah, Adam, to talk about the gamifying, right? So one thing that Suzy and I do is a hack that we figured out. So we both have iPads and we journal in our iPads. Well, our iPad journal pages share with each other, right? So they sync. And so we can see, not only do we scribe, but then we chat with each other and we talk about what we're going to do that day before we actually start meditating and then starting our day. But then throughout the day, we can kind of follow each other. Okay, what are you checking off? Are you knocking out your goals for today, and vice versa, right? And then also we can make sure that we're in alignment together, right? Hey, are we actually doing the most critical thing that we need to do for that day? And we kind of chat with each other before the day starts, make sure that we're in that alignment, which is awesome. And so just having it on a digital form, right? And then being able to check off everything as we're going, because it syncs to my phone. It syncs to my iPad and everything like that, and the computer as well. So whatever medium I'm on, I can always check, okay, what were my goals for today? What are my most critical things I need to get done, and make sure that I'm getting those done.
You don't hit those goals, Suzy's going to be knocking.
Right.
Nice.
No, but
That's
what else
ultimate.
is cool about the gamifying piece is that like it really is everywhere, and it's just us taking the time to notice if we're doing it or not, right? Because I mean, a lot of us, like even as entrepreneurs, like really like the competitive piece because it's like within ourselves as well, right? Mm-hmm. So like even now with real estate, it's like how many more people can I positively impact? Like how many, but not just like residents or families in the community, right? Because I can do that with my team. I can do that with like my property manager, you know, like when you build them up during those like asset management calls, it like goes so far out, you know, how you can gamify, and you see it working with people everywhere. And it's just figuring out their style and how you can make like something a game for them without them even knowing.
Yeah. Yeah. Spot on.
So then another question that I have, just because, you know, it with real estate, like a lot of people say, I want to take control of my time. Like the time is more important than anything else, you know, in this world. And like in a traditional, I guess, 9 to 5 or whatever your work shift is, you know, like you don't have control of your time and you lose a lot of it, right? Like somebody controls when you come into work and somebody controls when you leave work. I mean, really, they control everything else too, lunch, bathroom breaks, all of the above, unfortunately. But so with that, like, it's been cool to see everyone like still put in the hours, but they're doing them like to create the life that they want, you know, like a version of what a good life is for them. So I'm wondering like what a good life it means to you two.
Wow. I asked Camilla to go first on the last one. So I guess I'll do my best to take the lead on this one. This actually hit me pretty hard the other day. I was dig through my notes here and see if I can find it. I don't know if anyone's familiar, anyone listening. I'm sure he doesn't mind a shout out. You know, every now and then in the podcasting world, you got to be careful who you name drop. But this is a good friend of mine. His name's MC Laubscher, the host of the Cashflow Ninja podcast. I'll even give him a plug, guys. Cashflowninja.com. Check out MC's show. Thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of downloads. But he just did a webinar the other day with a guy named Dave Stack. And on the webinar, he said something so simple but profound to me. He's like, look, everyone wants to make money. Everyone wants to do good. Everyone wants to have fun for the most part. He's like, out of those three, which one do you think is the most important? And this is something actually Suzy referenced earlier about how some individuals might have the wrong view on money. And he's like, look, the most important out of those three is the making money. And the reason why is because the more you have, the more good you can do and the more fun you can have. And so I think the question was something, it was, you know, what does a good life look like to you? And I was even thinking about it the other day. I was in a cab going somewhere. And I remember there was a day where like, you know, I was watching the meter, like watching the number, like, oh man, I hope I can pay for this. It's just like, you know, that's like, it's a blessing. So a good life to me is one that, you know, has a lot of money being made so that way I can do good and have fun.
I love it. Yeah. A lot of people get wrapped up about like, oh, money, right? Like it's the root of all evil. And it's like, no, it's like you can leverage money as a tool, right? Like, so if you see it as a tool rather than something evil or whatever that people put out there, the people who don't have money. And it's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is like a lot of people need to see it as being a tool, and you're leveraging that tool in order to do good, like you're saying, Adam. And then if you can do good, at least for us, like the more good we do, the more fun we have, right?
And that's it. They go hand in hand very often.
Yeah,
making that impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I actually listened to that same webinar, and I was
Really?
struck by the same thing. Yeah,
Wow.
I was on it.
That's so cool.
Like 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a good one. It was a really good one. And it's always good to learn about things like that. And I agree, right? I mean, the more I was doing my MBA, and during my MBA, I was kind of struggling with this concept of money, right? And I knew that once I got out of my MBA, that I would be well positioned, you know, in a corporate career. I'd be able to make a lot of money in a corporate career, but I was, you know, I had grown up different. I had grown up that, you know, frugality was more important than anything in the world, and you know, we didn't talk about money. We didn't try to, you know. wasn't good to aspire to have lots of money. So I'm in this MBA program. I was just really struggling with, I'm setting myself up for some really great success here. And I had some really great opportunities coming my way. And I remember one of my professors saying to us, we want you to go out and make a ton of money. And I was like, what? And then he says, and he follows that with, because the more money you make, the more good you can do in this world, right? Like, can you imagine what you can do with a whole bunch of money to be able to do good for the world? And that always stuck with me. And now, and as I've grown and I grew through my corporate career, and the money starts coming in, and now the real estate, right? And money starts coming in, I keep thinking, wow, what a blessing I have, and a responsibility I have too, to take care of this money that is coming my way and to use it for the best good that I can. And so that's really kind of where I'm coming from. And so what does a good life look like to me? A good life looks like to me one where, number one, I am a present and loving and mother and wife to my husband and children, right? Like, I want to be there for them. I want to laugh with them. I want to take them on adventures. I want to show them the world and give them very strategic experiences so that they can be poised to also do good in their life and to make money themselves and use that money for good themselves. So that's number one for me. And then number two, I'm kind of in this mode of how big can I grow and how much impact can I have, and I think, when I was a young mother and I had 5 children and they were all little, like, the only impact I could think about at the time was those 5 kids, because they needed like every second of my time. Now that they're teenagers, we have the opportunity to work together in our real estate business and to create impact together and have conversations around the dinner table that are very invigorating. And, when we're driving in the van, right? Like, there's all these, it's amazing to see the kind of impact that, our family can make as well. And so
I came from a big family too. And as soon as I heard you say driving in the van, I said, yep.
That's my life. The minivan life. That's us.
That's phenomenal. Well, no, thank you, Adam. And thank you, Camilla, so much for being here with us today. And we are so excited, like I said, that you guys were the very beginning of our podcast. And so before we go, I would just love if you two could share where the viewers could find you.
Sure. Camilla, you go first.
Yeah, so find me on Facebook. You could connect with me on Facebook. I do have a website, steadystreaminvestments.com. So you can kind of take a peek at. I put out blogs all the time, and I'm on LinkedIn as well and Instagram at Steady Stream Investments. So please connect with me. I'd love to chat more.
Yeah, and I'd love for everyone tuned in. If you want to see what I'm working on, you can go to Carswell. It's my last name, CARSWELL.io. It's I as in Idaho, O is in Ohio. We have a lot of fun over there, and that'll definitely give you a way to get in touch with me as well. So Carswell.io. And I have to say, for those of you out there thinking about launching your own podcast, take notes on what these guys are doing. I haven't seen anyone or been invited on like a pre-launch show before. This is very cool, very good idea. Highly recommend.
No, yeah, and thank you so much. And just to like give the listeners or viewers like a little more of it, so like a big thing for us is that we want to be part of New and Noteworthy on iTunes, because if we hit that mark, then all of our guests on the show get way more views, right? That was the whole part for us. It was like, how can I make it so that
impact?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Right. It all goes together, because I want all of you to be seen and to be heard, right? Because that's why you're on our podcast, because we do find you extremely important. So at the bottom where you see our giveaway for the GoPro Hero 9, the plane ticket, or the Osprey backpack, like you'll find more if you go to our social media. But what it is really is that if you subscribe and give us an honest review, that's where iTunes, that special algorithm like builds it all up. And so that's why we're having the giveaway. So for the first 50 people who enter, you would be a part of winning that. And we just hope that with that, all of you can be seen. So thank you so much for being here again. I hope you guys have a lovely day.
Thanks so much. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, Michael and Suzy.
Bye.